I've come to Surrey to a block of garages where in the end one is a vehicle which sadly was purchased by somebody new who almost as soon as he got the car passed away. So that means it's got hardly any miles on the clock. And although it's not classed as a classic yet, the attraction for me is the fact that this could be an almost delivery mileage car. But better than that, this is the first time that I've decided to buy a car before opening the garage and seeing it. But I'm going to be giving this car away to one of you. So watch on to see how you might get this car for free. This is of course a special barn find episode of The Late Break Show. I'm Jonny Smith and this episode is proudly sponsored by Nielsen Car Cleaning Products. And our Barn Find February is also kindly sponsored by Works and its cordless tools that make my barn finds a lot easier. Ordinarily on these Barn Find episodes, I get to talk to the family or the owner of the car and get a better backstory. In this instance, the owner of the car, the chap passed away some 20 years ago, and his widow has actually gone into a special home, a care home, quite recently, and she's not in a good way. I've actually had to purchase the car through the solicitor, and the money from buying the car goes towards her care and also the Woking and Sam Beare Hospice shop. So I want to say a massive thank you to them because they're the ones who got in touch with the Late Break Show to see if we wanted to purchase this car. So I've had to purchase it. There is service history in there which I'll talk about a bit later. But the second problem I have also is the car's in this garage and there's been some stuff dumped in and around where we're going to have to pull the car out from. And it's not just light stuff, it's like huge stones and bricks. And if I've got to pull the car out on a tow rope, I think it might foul this. So we've got a couple of logistical issues. So some of the guys from the Woking and Sam Beare Hospice shop have come along to hopefully lend me a hand. But anyway, you've probably seen from the key. It's a Volkswagen Audi key. There's a clue. Right, I know it's open because I've been told that it's clear. And so it's a Volkswagen Bora, the brother of the Golf. The artist formerly known as the Jetta. The Bora is not classed as a classic really yet. This is a 2002 car, but the fascination for me with this and the reason why I agreed to buy it is because I think this has done 2,000 miles from new and it's what, 23 years old. And it could be a real time warp of a car. It's been in this lockup here, which is, I mean, it seems like it's a bit damp. I hope it's not too bad. I hope this car will clean up really beautifully. It's a 1.6, 16 valve. And this is the first time I've seen it since agreeing to buy it. I know there's potentially some mould in it from just lack of use. Yeah, but it's almost a weirdly box fresh car. And like I said before, I'm going to give this car to one of you, the viewers. So I know that I can't speak to anybody about the car. We know the car's done about 2,000 miles from new and it has been MOT'd for the first like 10 years of its life or so. But some of the mileages in between the MOTs are tiny. The chap that owned it originally and died, well, his widow, who's recently gone into care, she doesn't have a driving licence. So either the garage has driven the car to and fro or someone else, but there isn't another next of kin, which is why the house is being sold for her care and this car is being sold to her for her care. So it's a bit of a mystery there, but I'll talk more about the service book in a minute. Well, I'm really glad because this build quality era was pretty good for Volkswagen. This is essentially a Mark IV Golf. These sold really well in the States, better than Golfs in the States. And although it isn't a sporty model, it's not a V5 and it's not a VR6 or R32 type thing. I'm hoping that this will clean up really, really nicely. Although I have just clocked that there's no running water. So cleaning it at this spot, at this location is going to be hard. But I want to get it out as soon as possible. Right, so I've got some of the chaps from Woking and Sam Beare Hospice shop to help me. We're going to see if we can pull the car out without towing it. It's just tight because it's a single garage. We're going to open the boot and pull it by the boot because there's not many places we can get round, especially at the front, which is really frustrating. So this is really exciting and immaculate, but we'll look at this when we've tried to pull the car out. So I reckon if we try and grab it by the boot, I suspect, yeah, it's the rear brakes which I think have seized. So let's try and pull it from any angle you can get purchase on. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. No. I think we're gonna need to get the tow rope. Become a YouTuber, they said. Enjoy the glamour, they said. Yeah, right. In the end, instead of trying to pull the car out at an angle which was starting to pull the borer across to the side of the garage, we thought, let's just see how difficult it is to move this stuff. So we've managed to move it with a sack truck, the heavy stones, just giving it a quick sweep. And now we should be able to pull it out completely straight with the bus. And hopefully it'll unseize the brakes. You never know how these barn finds are going to unfold. The things that you think are going to be dead easy aren't. In this instance, just getting the car out because of all the hoarded rubbish that was outside, trying to pull the car straight out, which is what I was intending to do, was not possible. And getting access with a trolley jack in a small narrow garage. The car's moved across a bit, you can see where I've tried to drag it out with the bus. So we're going to jack it up and put it on skates. Hopefully we'll have to do it one side at a time because the rear beam is right in here. And if I can do that, then we can hopefully push it out on the skates. But the things that you think are going to be just like, yeah, we'll get that done in 5 minutes. Not the case. But what is pleasing me through the frustration is how immaculate all the little parts. I've looked underneath. The underneath is like new. Lovely. Obviously access is a bit of a bugger, but we've managed to get a borrowed trolley jack in, and I've used some sacrificial wood on the sills jacking points because I don't want to damage this car, because I do think this thing is in really, really lovely condition beneath the algae and the dirt. Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's good. Well, that's certainly freer than it was, bloody hell. So, the jack when we took the jack handle out, it folded up vertically, which means it won't now come back down to put the jack handle in to take the car off the jack. So I'm going to have to use this absolutely perfect jack that came with the borer that's never been used. I'm going to have to use it to jack the car off the other jack. Yeah, it's boring, but it's got to be done. And I hate these jacks, I don't trust them because they're always really wobbly and horrible. While I do this, just do me a favour, like and subscribe and comment, because this is the sort of stuff that you won't predict, and it's not very exciting to watch, but it's necessary to get the fucking car out. This is when I wish this van was electric. because when they're electric, you can just maneuver them so much more precisely, and they've got way more torque. And you can I've yanked so many cars out of sheds with electric cars, it's great. Actually, it's at this moment we should pause for respect, because not long after this video, the poor El Grand got hit from behind by a transit van doing 50 miles an hour and damaged beyond repair. My friend Paul, who owns the car, you might remember him, he did a car cave with us on his amazing engine swap car cave, just wants to say that the El Grand did so well and soldiered on. It still ran, but it's now dead. So, quick recap. We finally, what time is it? So we started this at 8 o'clock this morning. It's just about to strike 1. We've got the car out. This brake is seized on. Everything else has come undone. I'm going to unseize this so we can have a better look around it in the sunlight before the sun goes down and just look at its unbelievable condition, because it really is an utter time warp. I don't think there's one scratch on it. We slightly scratched the tiny little scratch on the bottom of the door, which we did, trying to get it out the garage, which I'm annoyed about, but it's amazing. I haven't even looked in the engine bay yet. So once we've unseized that, hopefully we can have a better look at its condition, and I'll show you the service book. This thing has been serviced when it really, really did not need to be serviced. And there's nothing like OAP spec, like headlight covers. Factory fitted headlight covers. If you ever see a car for sale with those on, you know the car is going to be worshipped. Remember to like and subscribe, please. And also remember that I've bought this to give this away. Once it's cleaned up, serviced, MoT'd, one of you is going to have it. Frig. All thanks to Paul again. We've managed to unseize it, and he's chiselled away the original pad. The brake pads have got no wear on them at all, but we had to sacrifice them in the name of getting the car able to be loaded onto trailer. So let's put the wheel on and we can actually move it and have a bit of a look in the engine bay. That's probably the most seized brakes-wise I have ever known a barnfind car on this channel. In all the 5 years I've been pulling cars out of garages on camera. And this is the most modern car, so it just goes to show you never know what you're going to encounter. Plus the access was horrible. But we've now got it rolling. The Bora is out in the sun. And I know it looks mucky, but I think this car is really amazing condition-wise, and this is what I hoped for. I mean, we popped the bonnet. I mean, these beautiful struts. I forgot Volkswagen of this era were so neat with that sort of thing. And with a bit of a clean-up, it's mouldy on this side where the garage was obviously damp, more damp on this side. But look at it. It's amazing. Still got the Volkswagen battery in place, which is obviously going to be scrap. You can see through all this dirt. It's got no scrapes that I can see of. All this is dirt. Getting in that tight garage, there's no scrapes on the arches. This is all just mildew, like limescale almost. It's spookily good. You open the doors, Volkswagen mats, offcuts of carpet over the rubber mats, which is a definite sign of an elderly but caring owner. We found this in some unsmoked Hamlet cigars, together with a lighter and an inhaler. The things you find in cars, it's so bizarre, isn't it? This velour is going to come up really beautifully. The steering wheel, I know that's just dirt from our hands getting the car in and out. The steering wheel has got no wear on it whatsoever. You go in the back, and I know this is a bit of a cliche of it's never been sat in. Well, those marks there are from one of us trying to get across. And if you look through the mould, the car is just stunning condition. What a survivor. Right, I've attached the battery, the jump pack, to see if we've got, and we've got an alive dash, which says it confirms 2,272 miles from new. Now I'm going to put, you can hear it pulse. I'm not going to try and start it right now because we're running out of time and we need to load it up. I'll do that when I get back. But I wanted to just turn the dash on just to see that it's sort of alive. Originally supplied from Colborne's. I am sure Colborne's was one of the first, or the first Volkswagen dealership in this country. I think they sold the first Beetle. Anyway, under here, see this is what I get off on. Old carpet to protect the boot floor. Threshold that's got muddy handprints from us when we were trying to pull the car out safely. In a bag here, oil, actual Volkswagen coolant additive. Over there, what's this? Another Volkswagen bag. Wow. A biscuit tin. I don't know if this has got biscuits in. It's got a shorthand dictionary in it. And oh, hang on. Okay, this is a VW book, a Bora handbook. Brilliant. That is really good because I didn't know that it had that. So that's the handbook on the tips and the maintenance. This is the interesting bit. So I've got some old MoTs. I've got a stack of MoTs. But this is the service book. Here. From Colborne garages. And the intervals for the servicing are just bonkers. Sorry, my hands are really cold. So it was sold on the 6th of the 6th, 2002. And it says, next service is at 10,000 miles. Okay. But the first service was on the 17th of the 6th, 03 at 611 miles. Then 17th of the 6th, 04, 1,077 miles. Then 10th of the 6th, 05, 1,421 miles. Then the 2nd of the 6th, 06, 1,572 miles. Can you see what I mean? Like, it hasn't been used. 1,948 miles, 2,091 miles, 2,148 miles. Blimmin' heck. So while Lewis at Bigfoot Transportation loads up the Bora, takes it back to my office, it's from there that I get it serviced, and I'm probably going to do the deep clean on it. I've got all the potions, and I'm going to see how it comes out, and then we should be at a point where we can MOT it and take it for its first drive. I will start it up though, very shortly. So now we've got the car back to my office HQ, and what I'm going to do is, in between a couple of jobs over the next few days, I'm going to deep clean the Bora myself using the Nielsen products. I'm going to start with a pre-wash in the pressure washer, then I'm going to snow foam, and then I'm going to use some cherry shampoo. And then when I've washed it all and I've blasted it all down, I might give it some polish. I'll check the surface. If it needs a clay bar, I'll clay bar it, and then I'll give it some polish, which it very much deserves, and a wax finish, because I want this to look really, really good, because I think this is going to come up beautifully. So you can get 35% off all Nielsen products by going to their website, which I'll put in the description, and you can use the code TLBS35. 35% off. Go shopping. Keep your car clean. There's no excuse. Made in Britain since 1969. Of course you want to win a barnfind VW Bora with 2,000 miles on the clock. Why wouldn't you? So how do you do it? Well, first of all, please put a brief explanation of why you would love to win this car in this YouTube video comment. Do that, and then complete the brief online form, the link of which is in this video's description. Do those two things. They'll take you about a minute or so to do. They'll cost you nothing. Then you can be in with a chance to win this barnfind VW Bora. And thanks again for supporting the Late Break Show. You remember you can find us on social media, on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on X. So before it goes off to Volkswagen, to the dealership to have its inspection and service and hopefully MOT, I've just got rid of the mould, which was predominantly on this side around the expansion tank and the washer bottle. Just a little bit of snow foam, let it sit for a while, and then agitate it with a soft brush. I mean, look at the condition of this thing. Right, I'm going to use exhibition polish now. This is a Nielsen favourite. Car is clean, car is dry. Let's apply some. Come up really nicely with not a huge amount of effort, being honest. I thought I might need to machine polish it, and I really don't. It's come up really nicely. Just got to do some dressing on the plastics and on the window rubbers. It's gorgeous. Really nice. At the VW dealership in Peterborough, this is where hopefully, before we service it or anything, we're actually going to do a first start. I want the guys, the mechanics, to do a little initial check, but I've been holding off on starting it for the first time. I know the dash lights all come on the first click of the key, the second click of the key, but I haven't tried to go for a start. So hopefully in the next half hour or so, we should be able to start the Bora up. Right, this is Alex. Alex, you're like a master technician. Is that your title?
That's it, master tech. VW for 10 years.
You've got a printout. This is like the service history of this car from the database.
Yeah, all the dealer visits from when it was new. So the PDI 2002, all the visits in between.
Right.
Last visit to a dealer 2010 in October. 2,100 miles.
Oh yeah, 2,100 miles. 2010, so the last service is 2010.
Yeah.
I think he needs a service.
I think so.
Not mileage related, but age related.
Yeah.
Alex, look at the exhaust. Look at it's even shiny.
It is.
Not bad for a mild steel exhaust.
Right. The heat shield still mint, nothing like that. Definitely not seen a winter on it.
I don't think it's seen a winter, has it?
So all the seams as well. Straight as you expect, obviously the mileage, but normally stuff this old will rolled over and
yeah. Well, look at the front cross member. I'll come down. The cross member's still got the date stamp on it, or the part stamp visible on it.
Yeah.
And the castings on the engine and gearbox are still quite bright.
The bolts as well, still got the factory colouring on there.
Yeah. That's the chassis rail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That really is like new. I mean, look at the radiator there. It's not even had any flies going into it. We're going to put a jump pack on it, and then we can check how much fuel is in it, and whether we drain the fuel or whether we add some fresh and go for a crank. Have you seen the condition of the engine oil?
The oil?
Have a look. Have a look at the oil.
Brand new.
It is new, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that was its service in 2010.
2010, yeah. Quarter of a tank in there.
Quarter of a tank.
Service light on, obviously. A little bit overdue.
What do you think? 2 gallons of fresh and...
Overdry, yeah.
We're going to just check the cam belt because it's probably the right thing to do. Obviously, it will need a new cam belt as part of the service, but before we do an initial startup, I just wanted to check that because it'd be a shame to damage anything with such incredibly low mileage. How does that look to you?
Doesn't look too bad. No cracks wise. The only concern is of what's been on the roller. You've got a bit of rust in the belt there. A bit of rust in the roller itself.
Yeah, okay, right.
It's been in one spot for a long time.
Yeah. So just check that it's not seized on the idler.
To be fair, looking at this as well, the marks on it, I imagine it's had a cam belt at some point.
Yeah.
Obviously not due to mileage, we've been time wise.
Just time, yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's been looked after, definitely. Even if it wasn't doing the mileage, it's definitely been.
We're satisfied that the cam belt's okay to do a fire up. We will change it for the service, and we're gonna now. Alex is going to put some fresh fuel in it. Just going to get some fresh unleaded. We're going to put that in it, and we're going to go for fire up. I hope it's good. Alex is impressed with it. A few of the mechanics have come over to look at the condition of the fasteners and the bolts and things, because when you work on cars all day, it's misery when everything's rusty and seized, but this car's not like that, I don't think. So fuel's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, timing belt is acceptable for startup.
For now, yeah.
Sweepstake time. I'm going to say yes because I'm an eternal optimist. What do you say?
I would say yes. Not first time. A few cranks. Yeah. I might get a splutter.
You're putting stipulations in already. 2 cranks. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Interesting. We're going to put a bar on the crank pulley just to check that the engine is free. We think it is. We think it's a seized starter issue. Right, so that's free then. I didn't think it was seized.
Right.
I think it's more like the starter has a seizure.
Yeah, or the battery is that old, is that low. Yeah. Jump pack it might not even be able to support it. So
Yeah.
I'll have to try that first.
Right, well that's good, it's turning. So you said it would take 2 cranks to let the fuel through.
See.
That sounds all right.
Yep.
I suppose we don't know if the fuel pump is working.
No, I say it sounds healthy enough engine wise, but yeah,
Yeah,
fuel wise, spark plug wise, we can that.
yeah. This is the battery that came off the Bora. It's a VW original battery, and it's dated 2010.
A little bit of corrosion, yeah, not too bad.
No, that's okay actually.
Inside's not too bad.
Plugs out.
But good condition. So you've got a bit of rust where it's been sat, but the electrode doesn't look bad.
No, I mean that's young, isn't it? Right, we've got the fuel lines off and into this can, this catch can. There's nothing coming through that I can see. You can obviously hear this. You can hear the choke engaging and things when you turn the key. Does that
I'll give it a crank too.
Yeah, we'll see if the fuel pump works then. No, that's the issue. I think the fuel pump is probably dead. Modern fuel, you see.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, modern fuel. So I think that's probably the top of the list of...
Yeah, need to get fuel coming to the rail first.
I'm going to leave the borer here, and these guys are going to work on it over the next few days. Probably a fuel pump, definitely brakes. Full service including a new cam belt just in case. And then hopefully ready to run and drive for many years to come.
Checking the fuel pump. See voltage to the pump. And while cranking, still delivering no fuel. New pump required in tank. Now I've got the fuel pump removed. However, some debris in the fuel tank. Require drain, clean out and refill before we can do our first start. Got the new in-tank fuel pump fitted. It's confirmed. We've now got fuel flow up to the rail that we didn't have before. About to try first start. No smoke. So it's been stood for the best part of 10 years.
She's alive and she's nearly MOT'd, serviced, and now it runs. Listen. It runs. It's had new brakes. It's had a full service. It's really been gone through here at Group 1 VW dealer. So it's going to have that stamp in the book. So it has got full service history at 2,276 miles. So here we are. This is hopefully the start of a new journey for the borer. By the time you watch this video, it'll be MOT'd. Thank you if you've already watched this and commented, but if you'd like to enter the competition, you need to comment in the video to say why you would love this barnfind borer in your life. You also need to fill in the brief online form that's in the video description. And in about a month's time, I might pick you as the winner, which would be really cool because this car deserves to go on and live many, many thousands of miles beyond this. Remember, the winner also gets a boot full of Nielsen car cleaning gear and Works cordless tools as well. If you haven't already subscribed to The Late Break Show, I'd love you to subscribe. And if you want to support us via Patreon and you watch videos like this typically early, then you're more than welcome. Thank you.